I'm here today to talk about cross-media marketing and other ways of providing marketing with Storefront or with Pageflex. So, rough agenda, we're going to take a kind of industry-wide look at cross-media marketing. We're going to look at some of the trends that this market is responding to, some of the goals when you do cross-media marketing, what we've learned in conjunction with our customers, what some of the best practices and guidelines are, and then take a quick look at a nice customer case study along with some advice on how to price and sell it. This is deliberately not a commercial for our products, but we will have one slide on how Pageflex can help with that. So I started with good old Wikipedia, and they define marketing, multi-channel marketing, as using many channels to reach a customer. They define, things like websites, retail stores, letter, email, or text. But the key thing is reaching the customer, and the objective of the companies doing the marketing, according to Wikipedia, is that it makes it easier for a consumer to buy in whatever way is appropriate. So I think very, very targeted, very accurate in terms of what cross-media marketing is. It's certainly a rapidly growing market. InfoTrends, in a fairly recent report, expects the cross-media marketing to grow by over 28% between 2010 and 2016. So when you look at this global market, it's pretty huge, and this is just for print service providers, 76 million. What InfoTrends has already analyzed and told us is that printers who take on cross-media as another service, they see incredible growth in profits and in their revenue. And interestingly enough, I love the bottom statistic, because although cross-media is about non-print media, in fact, printers see a growth in print when they start to do cross-media services. So very compelling statistics here. Taking it up to even a bigger picture, cross-media, video, other types of digital marketing, that is being looked at by Forrester as a $77 billion market in the US, with ad spends at close to $30 billion. So what's driving this? What are some of the trends? And basically it's how the internet has changed the way we do marketing. We're all bombarded with messages. We get too much spam, we get unsolicited phone calls, we get mail that we don't ask for at home. And this is what's now called push marketing. It doesn't work. It's unsolicited, it's not personalized. What I call basic personalization, which would be changing a name, Dear Leslie, Dear Janine, that doesn't work either. It's become a commodity, it's too common. So the challenge for a marketer is, with these constant barrage of messages, how do you stand out? And what some of these tools and experiences tell us is that speaking to your audience, when they want it, how they want it, what they want, speaking to them is the key. The goal is really to create these conversations. This kind of does away with some of the notions of, here's my marketing campaign, here's where it starts, here's where it ends. It creates a conversation that evolves over time. The messaging, the communication channels evolve over time. And social media is a huge part of this. A few years ago, the rise of social media in the business world, I don't think anybody really anticipated. And that's now one of the most important tools we have at our disposal. So the very platform being the campaign, the channel, whether it's social media, whether it's a tweet, whether it's an email, and the message has to change very rapidly, and it has to be driven by responses. How to get there? These are some lessons we've learned really working with our customers who are successfully making this transition. So what we've defined are what we call the 3 C's. Choose, commit, and choose a course of action, a course. And the starting point is really leadership and commitment from ownership, from top management. This is kind of a real top-down type of thing, because it takes a plan and it takes resources. It takes resources with both people and products. As printers and marketing service providers, you're always looking at two things. You're always looking at being more efficient in terms of workflow, in terms of automation, in terms of really leveraging the revenue you have to increase profits. But you don't want to do that at the expense of innovation, because really true success is new services, new business models, and new products. So as you look at this chart of innovation and efficiency, the thriving companies are successfully doing both. Key elements of a plan. You need resources. I personally think that sometimes it's more challenging to find the right resources in sales and marketing than it is technology-wise. You need to have people in your company in sales and marketing who understand that they're no longer selling a commodity, they're selling a solution. But your technical people not only have to understand, how to implement HTML pages, they also need to really buy into the business plan, sometimes even be part of the team that helps you sell and position it. You also have to talk to the right people. You have to have the right customers. And when you're selling a solution like this, you're talking to C-level people, marketing, directors, owners, CFOs, CEOs, high-level people. So what we've learned in conjunction with our customers is getting these resources can be a challenge. There's some great advice out there on the part of many industry vendors. Many of them are here. We're right next door to the PODI initiative. The Chicago AMA is sponsoring this theater. There's the DMA, there's webinars, there's peer groups, there's activities at the Printerverse here at Graph Expo. These resources can be very helpful in learning what you need to know to go in this direction. The types of skills you're looking for are very different to a lot of print service providers. It's solution selling, it's project and product management, social media savvy. Many companies either acquire another company, they merge with another company, or they partner. They bring different teams together. When you go in this direction, your customers are looking for a marketing expert. They're no longer looking for a printer. Of course, we all remember that great statistic at the beginning. Your print will increase. You can be assured of that. But most of the firms that offer cross-media marketing services really reposition themselves. They become marketing service providers, communication experts. We took a look at some of our customers, and these are all Pageflex customers that over the years have evolved their names, they've evolved their taglines, and you'll notice that the word print is nowhere in here. Even the word digital is going away. It's all about solutions, communication, solving problems, being a partner in solving these problems. So what we've seen again in terms of best practices to get started, first step is target some opportunities. Look at your current customers, look at vertical markets. Our customers we find with educational, nonprofit, franchises, these are ripe markets for cross-media marketing. They have that challenge of trying to stand out amidst a lot of noise. Once you have done your first successful project, you can leverage that. It only takes one, right? So successfully help a nonprofit, and you will be an expert on nonprofits. You will be able to go to others and say, here's how I was able to help this nonprofit increase their fundraising. And of course, the most effective starting place is your own company. And we, here at Pageflex, we call that shameless self-promotion. I love that term. So to give a great example of one of our customers, and Tom was here yesterday, I was talking to him, the PODI initiative has this case study highlighted, the Standard Group in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A couple of years ago, they wanted to reach out to customers and prospects and really promote all of the things they can do. And so another tagline, the Standard Group, simplifying the art of communication. And I took from their website that quote, which I'll read because I think it's a really good one. The Standard Group is an integrated communications company that combines industry expertise with best-of-class technology to deliver creative content via new and traditional media. And oh, by the way, they print, they mail, they still do all of that. But that's not how they're drawing people in. So they wanted to get some leads, they wanted to educate their customers, and they didn't say this, but I think they also wanted to have some fun, because cross-media campaigns for the right audience can be a lot of fun. So they sent out a direct mail postcard along with an email, and there were 3 calls to action on these pieces. It was, first of all, personalized. It had each salesperson's contact info, but then it had a personalized URL, a PURL. It had a QR code, and of course it had the email link directly to the salesperson. The PURL and the QR code, when clicked on, led to the Standard Group's Pageflex storefront site, where they could look at case studies, they could learn more about the Standard Group, but most importantly, this was done late in the year of 2010, they could personalize and order a calendar. When somebody went onto the site, a notification was automatically sent to sales so that they could see what was going on an ongoing basis. The theme, and here's the fun part, the theme was Alice in Wonderland. I mean, why not, right? We did a theme a few years ago, actually, at either Graph Expo or Print, that was, what is your favorite color and what is your favorite animal? And then based on the response, it would do all sorts of goofy, adding colors and animals to a personalized postcard. I mean, have some fun with it. It gets attention. So their theme was Alice in Wonderland. The calendar offer was a 3-month personalized calendar. It had a choice of layouts. Users could select from predefined images. They could upload their own images. It was very interactive. It was fun. It was easy. Key point, it was easy. And the user could either have it hand-delivered or shipped or both. This was based on the user preference. The salesperson could deliver the calendar and have a conversation. Hey, I have your calendar. Do you have a minute? Imagine what that means to a salesperson to get that kind of warm lead. So results. One of the things I haven't really talked about is one of the most critical components of doing any kind of digital marketing is results. Results achieve a number of goals. First of all, your customer, your own management is going to say, did it work? So, first step is, what are your goals? What am I trying to achieve with this? And it needs to be a little bit more granular than saying, I want to get more business, I want to get more money. How do you measure those results? And then how do you also take the results and factor them into the next campaign, factor them into your responses, factor them into the automation of the responses. The nature of doing multi-channel marketing, it is data-driven. Most of us struggle with having good data. So work with what you have, but use what's going on with this campaign to improve your data, to learn from it. So the Standard Group identified really a series of successes as their results. First of all, they wanted people to visit the website. From the email and from the postcard, they wanted people to either click on the QR code or click on the URL or type in the personal URL. And 37% of all of the 900 or so people who got this campaign did visit the website. That's great. But what does that mean? Well, they really then said, okay, of the people who visited the website, I want them to order the calendar. That's when I really kind of get them on the hook. And out of those recipients, almost 90 people ordered a calendar. That's almost a 10% response rate. That's an amazing response rate for any kind of campaign. But who wouldn't? It's free, it's fun, it's got great graphics, it's easy. And out of that, they got 23 hot leads and 6 immediate leads. They found almost 30 opportunities for business that they did not have before they started this campaign. They also found that this was an educational opportunity for all their employees, but especially for sales. So, going back to the challenges with getting good resources, a lot of the customers I talk to, they have a tough transition with their sales team, going from selling print or working with print buyers to selling solutions to selling cross-media to talking to C-level executives. And this really allowed their salespeople and the rest of their staff to see how well this works, to see how much fun it is, to see how it can work. And in fact, 70 of the calendars, not part of the 90, but 70 more, were ordered from internal people. And you want that kind of success. You want, as a company, to have everybody saying, hey, this is great, it works, look what we did. How intelligently could these people, their salespeople, now talk about the services that the Standard Group provided, that they had actually experienced it themselves? Great credibility. So a great story. They did win a PODI award last year. Like I said, there is a board over next door with some more information on it. Another huge topic is how to charge for it. The InfoTrend study that was done last year looked very, very closely at charging for cross-media services. And there's a lot of different models. The one model you don't want to use is to give it away. You've got some costs in this. Getting good technical resources and good salespeople, that's not cheap. And you need to not just cover your costs, you need to make a profit. And you need to look at it very differently than when you're looking at charging for print. So the two basic models are a la carte pricing, which is really hourly pricing, and project pricing. Now, the InfoTrend studies show that most MSPs use project-based pricing. That's not saying it's successful, that's what they do. My own feeling is that it's going to vary customer by customer. Some of your customers want to just have one big price, some of them don't. You've got to take a really close, hard look at what it's costing you to put this together, because the planning and the project management is huge. It requires skilled people, it requires time, it requires collaboration and interaction with your customer. Those are good things to do because that kind of collaboration really cements these types of relationships. But so some of the things that are mentioned in here are whether you include the project scoping in the price, and you'll see that more than half of the MSPs, PSPs that InfoTrend surveyed did include the project scoping. I think that's a really good idea. You're the experts. Remember, you've done your own campaign, you've done your self-promotion, your shameless self-promotion, and you're the expert. You might be looking at hourly fees, and there's a lot of information that they provided. I have that if anybody would like to follow up with me, and I can get it for you on what average hourly rates are. Now, I have to say, I'm from Boston. I found some of these hourly rates really low. I don't know if that was because it was a nationwide study or what, but I think you can get very timid about what these hourly rates are. So, charging $100 an hour for a skilled project manager or for a web developer, to me, that's very, very, very cheap. And those are, in the InfoTrend study, those were some of the higher rates. Some of the rates might depend, a lot of these services are hosted. So the vendor that you're working with will charge you based on how many clicks there are, how many emails are opened, how many microsites are accessed. That's not a bad thing, because the more successful the campaign, the more it costs, but hey, it's worth it. So lots of things to look at with pricing, but I think the most important message is to charge for it and to really look very closely. If a cross-media project is not well planned, and well planned ranges from what are the goals, to what is the design, to the messaging, to the call to action, to that kind of whiteboard, mapping it all out. If that's not done properly with the right people and the right amount of time spent on it, everything else will be in vain. That is the most important part of doing cross-media. I just got an email today. My wonderful marketing team back at the office are having a meeting tomorrow we're in the midst of planning our follow-up from Graph Expo. So that's important. So as you sell it, it really is all about looking at the big picture. It's looking at how can I help you, Mr. Customer, achieve your goals, solve your problem, stand out from the noise, attract more donors, get more sales, get more people coming to your website to download a coupon. This needs to be delivered in a formal proposal. This is not a conversation with writing on an envelope or one of these simple, almost invoice-like types of estimates or proposal. It's really, who are you? What are your services? What's the value you provide? Because again, you want to charge for what it's worth, and if you can communicate that value, you can get what you deserve for it. You're going to have some stumbles. We all have. I mean, I've had stumbles. But you know what? You just keep learning. The advantage of tracking is to learn what worked, what didn't work, adapt, do it differently next time. So those are really industry statistics, what I see behind it. You know, I'm a marketer. I'm dealing with these issues out there, these trends, just the way our customers are, and some of what we've learned in terms of how to be successful, and of course our wonderful case study from the Standard Group. And now for the product pitch, for those of you who don't know our products. We have a number of different solutions that enable multi-channel digital marketing as well as print. And most of it, not all of it, does rest with Pageflex Storefront. This is what Standard Group built their calendar in. It is a very customizable web-to-print product. And I'm starting to stop using the word to print. It's a web portal. It supports print as well as non-print. It supports our own product for cross-media marketing called Pageflex Campaign Manager. Here at Graph Expo, we've just announced an integration with Mindfire. Mindfire, of course, is one of the leading providers of hosted cross-media services. Their newest product, Mindfire Studio, really takes what they've always done well and kind of takes it to the next level. The nuts and bolts, the technology under cross-media marketing, multi-channel marketing can be very, very complex. There's a lot of rules and regulations. You don't want to send spam, you don't want to get blacklisted, it all has to work, it all has to be fast. And Mindfire has really solved those problems and exposed the setup in a remarkably easy to use interface. So with Mindfire Studio, they've added a whiteboard capability that's really cool. It's very powerful, and they've also started to build in more triggers. And let me just kind of stop for a minute, because triggers are important, and triggers are different than scheduling. So if I do a campaign, I can schedule that campaign. I can say next week we're going to send out an email with a microsite with some microsite-based workflow to everyone who came to our booth at Graph Expo. And then a week later, I can automatically send out another communication that will go to the people who didn't read their email, because I can tell who read it and who didn't. And maybe I'll send out a second one to the people who did read their email. That's scheduling, that's great. Triggers, though, are saying I'm going to start that initial conversation next week through an email. And then based on each response, if this person says, yes, I'd like to learn more, that will immediately go to a salesperson for a follow-up, and then I'll send a unique email to them. These people are going to a website and have indicated this. I'll send them an SMS, or I'll send them a Twitter feed. And that's the triggers happen very automatically. You build that logic, and they start this conversation that, like I said before, doesn't end. So that's something that Mindfire Studio can do. We also are very proud that we once again received a Must See 'Em award, and that's for an integration with Pageflex Dynamic Media. And that allows personalized video, rich media such as banner ads and display ads to be ordered through Storefront. So I think you can see why I'm now calling Storefront not web to print, but web portals. And as a company, you know, again, this is very specialized stuff. Our core competency is at being able to customize documents and provide web portals. We have a great composition engine. We, you know, getting into videos, getting into serving up ad tags to ad servers, we want to go to an expert. So we're very fortunate that our Storefront product, with the openness of it, with APIs, plugin architecture, easily supports these other types of products. So we're in this great position that we can work with the best vendors out there to offer all sorts of products, not just print. And then finally, we have a product called Pageflex Connect. This is independent of Storefront. It's very much of a very robust enterprise level automated marketing platform. So those are the products we have that really we feel whatever your needs are, whatever your customers are, let you do everything I've talked about. Little information on how to reach us. I do want to thank you. My half an hour is up, but I'm happy to hang around if anyone has any questions.